Welcome back, students. In this section we are discussing about the human eye. That is the different parts of human eye and the functions or role of these particular parts. We all know that human eye is the important sense organ which helps to see this colorful world or visualizing this colorful world. And which are the major parts of this human eye and what are the roles of these different parts? That is the major section here we are considering. So, normally the human eye is in a spherical shape, almost in a spherical shape, and having a average diameter 2 to 2.5 centimeter. That varies from person to person. Anyhow, almost in a spherical shape with an average diameter 2 to 2.5 centimeter. The next we can explain the different parts of human eye. The first part is the cornea. That means the outermost transparent layer of human eye is known as a cornea. It is a transparent medium, so it allows the light from that particular object or things which we have to see. It allows the light rays to enter into our eyes. That is the first part, cornea. It is a transparent layer and it is the outermost layer of human eye. Then behind this cornea, here comes a dark colored muscular structure or a muscular diaphragm like structure, and that is known as the iris. This iris is a dark colored muscular structure, so it decides the color of human eye. We are familiar that some person normally the eyes are in black color, but in some person it appears in brown color and in some person it appears in bluish color. This is due to the color change of this iris. Iris decides the color of human eye. And another important or major role of this iris can regulate the size of pupil. Pupil is the next part, that is a small opening or a hole present at the center of iris, that is known as the pupil, and through the pupil the light rays are entering into our eyes, and the size of this pupil, depending upon the situation, the size of pupil we need to adjust, and that adjustment is carried out with the help by the help of this iris. Iris can regulate the size of pupil. Iris decides the color of human eye, and it is not a transparent one, and it prevents the reflection of light. That's about the iris. The next, the pupil. The pupil is the small opening or the hole present at the center of this iris, and through this pupil the light rays from the object enters in our eyes and create the sense of vision. The size of pupil we have to adjust depending upon the situation in order to allow the only the required amount of light rays has to be entered into our eyes, otherwise it will create certain damages to the parts of eye. So the size of pupil should be adjusted. That adjustment is carried out with the help of this iris. Iris is regulating the size of or that opening of that pupil, and thereby regulating the amount of light rays entering into our eyes. That is an important or vital role of this pupil. Pupil can regulate the amount of light rays entering into our eyes. And how this pupil can regulate? That is by the adjusting the size, and that size adjustment is carried out with the help of this iris. That is the two major parts, iris and the pupil. Both are connected in regulating the amount of light rays. Okay. Then depending upon the situations, the size should be adjusted. Suppose if you are observing materials in a sufficient or in a bright light condition, the size of pupil will be very small. Suppose if you are in a dark condition or in a dark room, the size of pupil is increased, or maximum enlargement is carried for allowing maximum amount of light or sufficient amount of light. That is the size adjustment of this pupil. This is the practical situation which we are experiencing when we are sitting in a room and suddenly when the light when we switch off the light, we are unable to see, and also when suddenly when we switch on the light, for a fraction of seconds we are closing our eyes, and in order to regulate the size or minimizing the size of pupil. And this is the practical situation where we are dealing with the adjustment of this or the size adjustment of this pupil. Then behind this pupil, the next part is the lens. A crystalline convex lens is present in human eye. A jelly type convex lens is present in human eye, and the role of this lens or this convex lens is it has to converge the light rays which is entered through this pupil, and that light rays are converged to the back wall of human eye and create the sense of vision. That is a major role of this lens. It has to be converge the light rays or focus the light rays to the back wall of human eye. Then another major part is the ciliary muscles. The ciliary muscles are the muscle cells present inside human eye, and these ciliary muscles attach the convex lens in our eyes or fixes the convex lens in our eyes. And another important or the vital role of these ciliary muscles is it helps in the power of accommodation. That is an important process of human eye or in the vision process that we can explain later. These ciliary muscles has an vital role in this particular power of accommodation. Then that is the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles attaches or fixes the convex lens and it helps in the power of accommodation. Similar to all muscle cells, the ciliary muscles are also possible for the relaxation and contraction movement. Then the next part is the retina or the back wall of this human eye. The back wall of human eye is known as retina, where the light rays are converged by this convex lens. Then in order to create the sense of vision, this retina composed of a large number of nerve cells. And these nerve cells receives the impulse when the light rays are converged at that particular point, and these impulses are carried to the brain through optic nerve. That is another part, the optic nerve, which carries the impulse from eye to brain and from brain to eye. Then another point, the point where this optic nerve connected to the retina is known as the blind spot. Why it is known as blind spot means, if the light rays are converged at this joining point of this optic nerve, the sense of vision is not created. That's why it is known as a blind spot. If the light rays are converged at the point where this optic nerve connects with the retina, the sense of vision is not created. That's why it is known as a blind spot. And in this retina where the light rays are converged, it composed of large number of nerve cells. Mainly two types of nerve cells are present in a human eye. They are cone cells and rod cells. Due to the peculiar shape of that cells, the name is given cone cells and rod cells. And what are the difference between these two, rod cells and cone cells? In this one, the cone cells are sensitive to bright light condition and helps to distinguish different colors. The colored vision is provided with the help of these cone cells and it is sensitive to bright light condition. And what about the rod cells? The rod cells are sensitive to dim light condition and it provides a grayscale or a black and white vision. Then along with this one, we can just mention two additional points. Suppose if a person are deficient with the cone cell, then what happens? That person unable to distinguish different colors. And such a situation is known as a color blindness. Due to the deficiency of cone cells, a person unable to distinguish different colors, that particular condition is known as a color blindness. And similarly, if a person is deficient with rod cells, then that person unable to see in the dim light condition or in the night condition. Such a situation is known as a night blindness. Due to the deficiency of rod cells, some persons are unable to see in the dim light or the night condition, and such a situation is known as the night blindness. Okay. Lastly, we can consider the human eye has two chambers. One chamber is the region between that cornea and the transparent lens, and the other chamber is the region between that lens and the retina. And these two chambers are known as the aqueous humor and vitreous humor. And these two chambers are filled with the transparent fluids, aqueous humor and vitreous fluid. This transparent fluid helps to maintain the proper shape of this eyeball and also prevent the effect of excessive pressure from outside. These are the major points related to this human eye, the major parts of this human eye and the vital roles of these different parts. Okay.